Welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch stream and YouTube channel. I totally forgot what the place was called there for a second. My name is Jimmy and I'm here with Joe.
Yes, you are. Long week, James.
Long week. And now he said the tile stream.
You're enjoying your tiling then.
Yeah, that would actually probably be quite entertaining for someone else to watch. If you like angry hissy fits and cursing.
Isn't that the main appeal of all streams?
I get, yeah, must be, yeah.
I mean,
competitive tiling.
Oh god. I mean, you know what? I feel like I could probably end up getting into it. That's the sad thing about it. It's like you said competitive. It doesn't. I'm not particularly competitive myself, but I would happily just like engage with something if it is competitive. If that makes any sense. Like if it's presented in the right way, it doesn't really matter what people are doing. You know, it's like the whole appeal to sport. It doesn't. The sport people are playing matters because that's what's providing the main entertainment. But even the most exciting sport is boring if the actual like narrative and competition around it isn't any good. So if the tiling was boring, but like there were good rivalries and you know these kind of like emergent narratives that come from sports or competitive activities, I could get into it. Put a pin in that because I think that's an idea worth coming back to. Competitive tiling.
You get points for finishing first and then points for overall quality of finish as well.
Oh yeah, but what you'd have to do is you'd have to make it, obviously, because it'd all be judged.
We must rally our men.
And then you'd have to get like, you know, there'd be controversial decisions. And, you know, maybe like an audience vote. Like, you know, part jury, part audience. People could get into it, man. Like,
oh, they definitely could.
You have almost everything on telly is like competitive. Like on an afternoon off, the lass will watch just like an entire afternoon of competitive nonsense and people judging each other.
Is that what that show's called?
It should be, but it's not even just a single show. It's like, you know, like you've got shows like Come Dine With Me where people make dinner and then judge each other.
Yeah.
You know? Then there's, I forget what, there's the one with the B&Bs where people stay at each other's B&Bs. Not Airbnbs, like proper B&Bs. And then judge each other, you know, give each other scores. There's one where people are getting married and everyone attends each other's weddings and then judges each other.
Why on earth would you agree to that?
Because you get your honeymoon paid for if you win.
Oh well, that's worth potentially ruining the day for, definitely. Save a bit of cash.
People are bothered, yeah, and it's just like, and then you have like 3 or 4 people who are obviously incentivized not to like it. I mean, I know like the producers will get involved and stuff, but like the strategy to win any of those things, if there's several rounds of voting, just be the dickhead who gives everyone 0 out of 10. Like, because you've effectively taken 10 potential points away from each of your opponents every round. I mean, by that point, if you lose, then you're really crap. You have to just like, you have to accept like your wedding, dinner, and or B&B were shite. Yeah, like anything, people will just like, people will engage, especially when it's like subjective. Like, I mean, like if you've seen tier lists, right, online, like people just put out their tier lists. It's like, I mean, it's a great like social media idea, or, you know, oh yeah, just social media idea, because you just put this thing up that you know people are going to disagree with, and then watch as they disagree with it, and then the algorithm loves you for it because everyone wants to like weigh in. Because if there's one thing the internet loves, it's disagreeing on subjective matters. It's the only thing the internet can agree on. Disagreeing on things that are subjective and trying to quantify them as objectively better.
And like on particularly unimportant things as well.
Oh, like when remember like some of the earliest ones were like the biscuit tier lists. Do you remember that when people were like rating biscuits? and then it'd be like, well, actually, I almost wanted to say like, they've just like thrown in a random shite biscuit at the top to wind people up,
Oh yeah.
or they genuinely believe it. But I do think sometimes they're just like, I'm gonna just be a bit contrarian here. I'm gonna just like throw in a random mediocre biscuit at the top. But then again, they could actually just genuinely like it, and people are just so like, I guess, into their biscuits.
I mean, I like my biscuits.
Yeah, same. I think everyone likes biscuits except those who are celiac. Look,
That was the name of the woman in that song, wasn't it?
the Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, celiac.
I can't believe I got where you were going with that. You stupid joke. Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Oh.
Shaking my confidence and shaking my confidence, Dave.
Yeah. To be fair, I think being celiac
Terrible.
would cause a lack of confidence in some situations.
Especially when it came to rating biscuits.
Oh yeah.
The true story though, Oreo took ages to end up in the UK, just because. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting here, but basically, in the UK, we are biscuit snobs. That was kind of the idea, that like Oreos are like too fun, like not serious enough.
Too fun.
Yeah, and like it took a while for them to be introduced in the UK, even though they were hugely popular in the US, because like they knew they'd fail because our market just like wasn't ready for them. Which is like, but then when you think about like other popular biscuits in the UK, you see the kind of vibe they all have. Like, you're talking about like, are they called chocolate bourbons, custard creams, rich teas. We got some fancy ass biscuits. Oreos don't fit in there. Like, they want to be like sat on a supermarket shelf when people are buying biscuits because they're like, oh, have some nice biscuits and a bit of tea. Oreos don't belong there. Someone got out one of those like biscuit selections, and I like an Oreo, but the Oreo would look out of place. You'd be like, the fuck's that doing in there? Next to the fucking Nice biscuits and that? Nah. The fuck out of here, Oreo.
Get out of here, Oreo.
What the Australians aren't into it either. Is that Australian?
No, they don't fancy it.
You see that Australian politician who had a fucking spider on her? I think it was in the news today.
No.
Oh, she's doing like a press conference. She's got like a huntsman spider, which are apparently rather deadly big and big.
Oh my
big old
God.
and she's like, oh, I've got a spider on my foot. I'll crack on, but it's do like deal with it. So she like carries on doing her speech. It's like, just let us know if it like gets near my face because I don't want it there. And obviously she doesn't like it, but she's just dealing with it well enough and just carries on with her speech. It's like, yep, it seems to have gnashed off. Just like, I'm like, nah, that can get fucked. I would have been like running across the other side of like the podium or whatever it's called, the thing you do speeches from.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called?
It's
not
not just called
pedestal.
a podium.
It's also a podium. But yeah, it's funny watching them just like not be bothered at all by shit where you're like, look, 6-inch fucking spider was crawling across my foot. That thing would be like booted so fast.
Oh yeah, if it was on
Well,
your foot, you'd just fling it. You'd be smashing that across the room.
Yeah, which
Especially if
probably
it's
doesn't work.
dangerous. I'd be like, right, get out of here.
What I'd do is try and remove my foot from the shoe and just leave that. But then I'm like, do I want my foot less defended? What if it's brought mates? Or it's one of those ploys where you turn around and there's actually 3 of them behind you. Like a gang. Spider gang.
Spider gang. Spider gang. Oh shit. They're being clever. They're going around
Not
other
there.
entrances. Right.
Yeah, watch. Last time out we were complaining about the pathfinding of this. I watched a mint video on the old YouTube by the unfortunately named Ars Technica, who you've seen their series War Stories about game dev. I think
Yes, yeah, and I think we've talked about that in the past.
they're like really good. But they have one with one of the dudes from Command and Conquer talking about like how the pathfinding in Tiberian Sun was like game changing. And it was quite clever. They said like because there's no unit cap in Tiberian Sun. Remember that you can just build as many as anything you want.
Alright, yeah.
Is there a unit cap in this? I mean,
there's like a army cap, so you can have up to 20 units per army, I think.
right, yeah. So even if they were full,
Yeah.
there's technically a limit you could hit, which is technically held back by how much money you have in the game anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, this one he was going on about it, saying like they just had this like sequential set of things that the pathfinding did, and what it did to like save memory, which I thought was kind of clever, is when pathfinding, ignore other units that are moving. Like, just pretend they don't exist.
Right.
Because then you don't have to think about going around them. And by the time you get to where they are, they're probably not going to be there anymore anyway.
Right, yeah.
And then you just recalculate when you do finally hit each other, because it's pointless calculating to go around a unit that's on the move.
That makes
Because
sense.
you just have a big wiggly line of all the, and it's just like they just beeline it as if units in motion don't exist. And then they said there were like other things like at choke points, and if you played the game you'll remember this, but if there are stationary units and they're blocking another unit, they're just ordered to like move like one tile over in a random direction, or as he called it, wiggle. So they just like wiggle in a random direction until the path's cleared.
Alright.
So they all just like take a step in a random direction, which I think, because it's like isometric, I think there are only 8 directions. But like if you had a few units stood at the entry point to a bridge and you have a little soldier try to run across, they're not moving out the way of the soldier. All they do is just say move in a random direction, and this thing kind of cascades. And it's like if they try to move somewhere and there's another unit there, then that unit does the same thing. Until eventually this effect kind of ripples to the units on the outside until they move away from the bulk of the units. And once a path's cleared and this unit's no longer like telling the other units, hey, you're blocking my path, then it just carries on and goes through. And it was and they had all these like interesting like structural decisions they had to make sure that you could have as many units as you want on screen and it would still work, because obviously, you know, that was kind of the appeal of the game, that you just had like tons of soldiers and you were just like sending like soldier after wave you know, of your men at the opposition, at the enemy. So to make it still work with the pathfinding, they came up with like clever solutions, because if you had like really clever pathfinding, it would be really like hardware intensive, because you'd just be asking your CPU to do loads of calculations and work out tons of routes
Yeah.
several times a second. So they created all these shortcuts, and one of the best things he said was about artificial intelligence. He says artificial intelligence doesn't have to be intelligent, it just has to not be stupid. So if you can stop it doing the things that are stupid, it'll look intelligent. Because when something works, no one's really bothered how it works.
Yeah.
You just need to remove the dumb shit. and everyone's like, "Oh, the AI in this game's really good." It's like, it's not though, is it? It's actually really, really basic, and it looks intelligent because it never does anything really stupid to like break that illusion.
Yeah.
This game made me want to go back into it and
Play
give it a
some.
cheeky play.
Yeah.
Play some CNC.
Oh, that was just a. That was. I think that was. I mean, I did enjoy the Dune game before it, but I think CNC was the one that probably got me into RTS.
Oh yeah. Well, they were saying when it came out, it was June 2, Warcraft, and then CNC, and they were like, we technically made the third ever RTS. Like, Command & Conquer is the third ever RTS in existence.
So Dune 2 was like, or Dune was like the first one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Only intervention
So,
by the Almighty or a military.
Yeah, I don't think there was a June 1. I
No?
might be wrong here. I can't remember hearing it. It's just yeah, I think I don't know. I can't remember that like there wasn't just a game called June. Which is, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna really bother us. Is there a June 1? Yes, there is. I just don't know who. I just don't know what. Ah, because it's not an RTS. I don't think it has anything. Like, it's an adventure strategy game, but
All right.
yeah, like it wasn't about commanding units. I'll tell you what they did say though. That was you know, when like I love these kind of interviews about game dev, and then when they tell you like why the game exists, and then it's something you've like never noticed but is so goddamn true. You're like, oh shit, of course it is. And the whole idea of Command and Conquer, obviously, you know, you're like controlling the army, but the idea is that you're controlling the army like from your computer. Like in universe, you're controlling the army from your computer.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a shorthand for you controlling an army. The idea is you're connected to this army via like an uplink, you know, which is why it has all that stuff where it's like, welcome commander, and it's like, and it's all video relay things, and you're like, you know, it's just like, yeah, it's an overhead view of the battlefield because like that's the easiest way to see it, right? But the whole presentation is like, oh, I'm not like a commander commanding the army. I'm me at home commanding the army. Like, that's the whole point. It's like sort of like fourth wall break. And I'm like, you never thought, like, I just ignored that whole like aspect of it because you're just like, yeah, I'm just like, they're talking to me, the player. But I didn't think that was almost like canon that I'm actually controlling this army from my computer. I just thought like, yeah, they're just talking to me and I control an army. And I was like, oh, it's like, oh, it's so damn cool. Like, in all of it, like, all of it makes a little bit more sense now. And you're like, oh shit, like that's why, like, those games start with you like flipping channels and shit. Like,
Yeah.
remember like the intro of those games where like they're always just like scanning various channels, and then you get like a message from like whoever. Absolute class. Just like, oh damn, that's so cool, because they were like, oh well, everyone's just like sat at home, you know, playing on their computer, and now their computer has a modem, so we wanted to act like via their modem they're technically connected to some kind of either secret government or terrorist organization's computer network. and controlling all these units remotely. Like, oh, that's cool. Damn, that's so clever. And almost didn't really, I don't know, after playing it so many times that you don't even think about that stuff anymore. Maybe you do like the very first time you play it, but it's like, would have been like flipping 10 the first time I played those games. So, you know, yeah, I just didn't think about like the meta aspect of it. I'm like, yeah, the game like talks to you because you're the player. Didn't realize I'm actually like in this.
You're the starring role.
I mean, Kane is the starring role, really. If we're gonna,
Yeah, that guy
Just
definitely took
bald guys is just the starring role in any Command and Conquer. In Red Alert 2, it was Yuri.
it. Shadow.
Oh, brilliant, just brilliant. That, like, we just told her, he's like, oh yeah, you know, you just got fucking James Earl Jones in there, like, for a laugh in like this hammy as fuck story.
It's so good though.
I loved how they just like, yeah, it was so clever and. But like they knew it was gonna look shit, so they've just kind of lent into it.
Almost.
Yeah, they know how like dumb it's gonna come across, so it's just like, yeah, just accept it's dumb, and then you don't have to worry about it. Because now when you have like, you know, there was I think in the first Destiny game it had is it Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones?
All right.
He like voiced this little thing that hovers around and chats to you. You know, this little like floaty robot thing, and it's like, yeah, all right. And I mean, like, he's good voice as well.
Yeah, he
But
does
it
have
just,
a good voice.
it just feels, I don't know. It just felt like sort of like insincere when you see him out of Breaking Bad in like Far Cry and that. Giancarlo Esposito. You know who I mean?
Yeah, wasn't he a bad guy in that
chicken
game
guy.
and a bad guy in another game like recently? So like
Probably. I mean, he was the baddie in The Mandalorian as well, wasn't he, for a bit?
that's what I was
Or
thinking
all
of
of it.
actually. No, I wasn't thinking of the game. I was thinking of Mandalorian.
But yeah, he plays a good, heartless bad guy though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it didn't feel the same with those. Like it just feels like insincere. Like they're like, our game's a big deal. Look who we've got in it. Where Command and Conquer was like, our game's a big deal. Look who we've got in it. In these ridiculous cutscenes, and then not cutscenes, they're FMV. So yeah, it just is like everything's green screen and really pants. Funny though, so good.
Yep.
I'm just laughing at those. Like, those soldiers sounded really keen for a bit,
And then they stopped.
and then it was just like, yeah, they were just like going rah rah rah, and
Swords
then,
waving and everything. We're like, yeah, let's get stuck into it, lads. And then
and then they're like,
Oh.
nah, fuck.
it takes
this,
a lot
this
of
is
effort
shite."
running in this full plate.
Yeah, we shouldn't scream the whole time we're doing it as well, because like you need to manage your breathing really. Other news: we hit 7,000 followers on Twitter today. Thought I'd announce that
Oh.
little milestone. Always nice to have the.
And we don't have 7,000
Support.
friends, so it's actually real people.
I don't
Only
have 7
intervention by
friends.
The Almighty, or a military genius can bring us victory from this.
No, it's yeah. And well, people are enjoying it and liking what we do over on the old tweet space, www.twitter.com.
Yeah. Just in case you need to figure out where to find Twitter.
//
Huh.
www dot, which I saw a meme the other day saying it actually takes longer to say that than World Wide Web. If you just said World Wide Web dot, it's actually quicker than saying www dot.
All right.
Aye. So good end to the year. I know it's got 2 more weeks left until 2022, but nice to hit that little milestone.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to celebrate something for it, but not to toot my own horn. But I feel very soon there'll be another milestone to be celebrating. Like, you know, can't do something for all these milestones because then it just ends up insincere.
Too many milestones. That's the problem.
Exactly. I mean, 1 every mile technically, but yeah.
What the? Everyone just running away now. Wow.
Only
You lot were
intervention by
hopeless,
the
weren't you?
Almighty or a military genius can bring us victory from this.
That was a cracking little beer from my advent calendar. I've told you about my advent calendar, but I'll tell you about it again. I bought 24 beers. It's a great... No, like a few years ago, I bought one of these like beer advent calendars, and it was kind of cool. You know, it was like a huge box with like... You know what an advent calendar is? With 24 like doors in it, but you open the door and it was a bottle of beer that you pulled out of the window. So it was... It was cool, and... You got a little like book where you were meant to like note down how each beer tasted, which was, you know, a bit poncy for me, but it is a nice way to like engage more with the product. You know, like you're not just like going, here's a beer. It like it asks you to rate it, and I think by doing so, sort of adds value to the beer you're drinking because you think more about actually what it tastes like. But it was quite expensive, and I was like, for a quarter of the price, I could just go out and buy 24 different beers. So last couple of years, I've just done that.
Fair enough.
It's much easier, and maybe not as enjoyable because I don't have the little book to judge all the stuff, and it doesn't come with a fancy glass that you can use to drink it out of. But I get 24 beers. It's technically more because I miscalculated and just was like, oh, they look nice, I'll pick some of them up. And I'm like, oh, I've actually got 28. Never mind. Whatever will I do with them?
You cannot drink them. You're not allowed.
I can, I just can't drink them on a daily basis. I just have to drink them randomly when I feel like it. As long as the numbers still add up, so there's the right number of beers. I also use get Google's random number generator up to pick which one each day. Didn't pre-number them. I just on a daily basis just get the random number. I feel that's more random. It's not like deterministic. So every day it could be any of them. I don't know if mathematically that works out or not, but to me it feels like it's more random if you're randomly picking one each day. But who knows? I mean, mathematicians, obviously.
I don't know if the pathfinding in this one for the other guys has been particularly bad.
They're a bit lost.
They're all over the place. They're just like running into walls and stuff.
So there's in this video there was like other stuff with pathfinding that they have to say is where you can't have anyone beeline it to anywhere, and you can't do the really obvious thing of just like, you know, the like solution to a maze where you just always turn right until you can't turn right, then you turn left.
Right.
Like no, left. Da. Shite jokes. Yeah, they said like you can't do that because that would make like with like the example of this castle door. If you want them to go like just the other side of it, they might walk up to it and then follow the wall all the way around the city. And then go in like a different door. It's like there's a door just to the left of you. Like you could have used that one. And that's like that was one of their like big. That's how you make AI look dumb by like having them like run all the way around a wall when there's a door right next to where they start. Oh, sorry, where they're meant to be going. But I wonder what's so different about this one, because is it the fact it's in 3D? Because that really shouldn't matter, because I imagine they just pathfind like in a 2D plane. I mean, I have no idea, but it does seem. I mean, this game is 6 or 7 years older than Tiberian Sun, and
Right.
maybe even older than that. Maybe I think Red Alert 2 was 2001. I'll check. Red Alert 2 was 2000, so Tiberian Sun was 1999.
What?
Such a good game, though. Such a good game. Oh,
No? I can't believe it was that long ago. Oh my god, they're routing already.
well, just looking at it now. Don't know who this magazine is, but Next Generation gave Tiberian Sun 3 out of 5 stars. I know that's their opinion, but their opinion is wrong. Just like, well, the magazine folded in 2002 after regular getting shit wrong. I don't know why it folded, but yeah, it's a weird one. Like, $70 to 80% is the aggregate scores for it. They just did not like it. But here's what the guy said. The guy who didn't like it, Daniel Erickson. Don't send him hate mail or anything like that. I'm on that.
He's already getting some.
I'm already drafting one now. No, he said Westwood is fine-tuned Command and Conquer, but that's not enough to please the RTS crazed gaming public. Daniel, you're wrong.
He was wrong.
I don't know. I
He
don't
was
know what.
then, and he still is now.
Yeah, I wonder what. I mean, is this because like StarCraft was out or something? You know, like, and for many, StarCraft is just like absolutely class. Like, I don't know what the I don't know what the RTS crazed public of the late 90s was like, but I don't know what else. StarCraft, this, I mean, then there's Warcraft, and there's
StarCraft this, Warcraft that.
yeah,
The enemy general has no
something
honor. He flees
craft
the
beer.
field of battle and abandons his men. By St. George, we've captured the
Dairy
enemy's
Dunkers.
general. That'll teach the cowardly dog to turn tail and run. Now he can rest at our leisure.
Game though. I did play the what's it called? 8-bit invaders, which is made by like the people that split off from the people who made Command and Conquer,
All right.
I think. So yeah, it was founded in 2003 by the people from Westwood. When basically, do you remember when Westwood ended up at EA? Like Westwood was there. Westwood was its own thing. Then they were bought out by EA or whatever. Then apparently they got like they moved the studio. Like the studio was initially in like Las Vegas, I think, and then they moved it to California. And when they moved it to California, like it all changed and like they all kind of like split off. And
all right.
there was obviously some people that like wanted to, you know, who had like lives and families and shit like that in like Las Vegas and weren't just going to uproot to like California because EA wanted the studio to be there rather than where it was. Something like that. And the ones who refused to leave set up this company called Petroglyph, and they made these games called 8-bit and then another word, and that included like sort of like a Command Conquer-esque
The enemy, our men are winning the battle. If we
like
continue
RTS
like this,
game,
we will smash the
and
enemy.
I remember I picked up a copy of it for like absolutely nothing on PS4, and like it just does not work with a controller. It's
Right.
clearly a game that needs to be played with a keyboard and mouse. I mean, it's an RTS anyway, but I remember like that not being something that bothered me when I played like the very first
Our
Command
men
and
are
Conquer on my
winning the battle.
PlayStation. Like
If we continue like this, we will
you just
smash
moved
the enemy.
your cursor around with a controller. It was fine, didn't matter. But this didn't stick for us, and I don't know. Maybe it's maybe if I went and bought it on PC, it'd be really really good. But the general like I think that the rating of it it didn't review very well either. So I'm I might not be missing the point here. It might just be not as good, which is a shame because it's made by people who are like, you know, supposedly good at this kind of crack on. They did do the remastered collection though. EA got back in touch with them to remaster the original Command and Conquer.
All right.
So when that came out last year, so the Command and Conquer remastered that had some of like the OG devs working on it.
The day is over, and we are victorious.
Just waiting for them to remaster Tiberian Sun and cheeky Red Alert 2. That'd be class.
Oh yeah. What a shot.
The day is ours.
We come bearing word for you.
My God. No man.
They ever
How could you ask these of us?
like accepted a ransom?
This meeting was worse than fruitless.
I think like once.
The enemy lays
And it wasn't
siege
very
to our
much.
people, sire.
All right.
I shall lead our forces into battle, my lord.
I haven't even got to a turn for me yet.
Just fending off attacks. Damn Danes and the
Damn everybody.
yeah.
Non-stop. General's bodyguard. Unit. Everyone's from London in this game. Unit. Quick more.
It's I think in most games, isn't it? That's and films. Games and films, they don't like the old regionalized accents.
No, not as big of a fan. Right, let's put the archers on this side, eh? Let's not be daft. Yeah, right. Get him. Ow.
It's
They're all getting a bit burned.
it's not a good day for them, is it?
Ladders
No.
have reached our walls. It's
I know you
time
got
for
like
butcher's
March, but
work.
you'd want a little like cheeky, totally run up, wouldn't you?
I'd definitely be running up there.
Like you might not be like full on sprinting because of the pikes and that, but you'd be doing a pretty quick walk. You know, as if like you were heading to the toilet. One of those like quick walks, which
Yeah.
gets increasingly quicker as you arrive towards your destination,
The enemy are
as your
battering down
body
our
and
gates.
mind have both decided that it's go time,
Yeah.
and there's not much.
If you're not on the toilet, I'm going anyway.
For any reason,
Our
they
men
are just
winning
being
the battle.
fodder. I mean,
If
I
we
know they don't have
continue like
many
this,
places
we
to
will
go,
smash
but
the enemy.
No,
Surely
they're just
there's,
being
like-
dumb.
ah,
Blast their eyes! The enemy's ram is through our gates.
No, they'll pile in.
St. George, save us! The enemy have the walls. Look to our defense, or all will be lost.
Calm down, man. Now we've got the road.
The battle is the enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
Everybody go!
Only half the enemy force remains.
I think the Danes need stronger branding. It just... I know it's not, but it looks like a palette swap of England. Like, I know we don't have the same flags in this, but
Yeah.
it's a bit like all the countries that have like the tricolor.
Yeah.
It's like come on, Ireland and Italy. Red and orange are too close. And Ivory Coast as well. It's like, come on. Get creative with your flags. Or do what we do and just put them all on top of each other. Just go, yeah, that'll do.
How do we make a new flag? Just throw them all together and see what it looks like. Oh, actually, it doesn't look
Put
too
them on
bad.
top of each other. Should we include Wales? Nah. Fuck that.
Are you mad?
What do we need to include Wales for? They've done nothing but be rebels and get attacked by the Spanish. I know that's
Where
not.
on earth are we going to stick a dragon on this flag? To be honest, the one thing that would top the Union flag off would be a dragon, like.
Any flag? Their flag's got a flipping dragon on it. Like,
I know, it is a pretty badass flag.
yeah, just. I mean,
Our men are
it
winning
like
the battle.
starts
If we
with
continue like this,
St.
we'll
George's
smash the
Cross
enemy.
for England, right? What was St. George famous for? Like, come on.
Consorting
like
with dragons.
Just St. George and dragons are rather fond of one another. I mean, obviously not, they kill each other, but don't know. Could do with the dragon. I also like how the fact like all our shiz is like lions. There are no lions in the UK.
Doesn't mean we can't adopt one as our spiritual animal.
I think
Everyone
should it
loves
be
a
just-
lion, though.
I know.
They've got to be the most used thing on a
lion
flag or whatever.
in heraldry.
Yeah.
Lion. It's called lion rampant. I think
Yeah.
when it's in that position.
Lion rampant
at
on a
least-
field of azure.
Yes.
Or azure. Is it azure or azure?
Azure.
I assure you.
Azure you, I'm not drunk. I don't know. I don't even know how I'd say it now. Now that I've heard it like 3 times in different ways, I can't remember how I'd put it. Azure. The Italian team are the Azzurri. So is it the Azure? Because it comes from like the
Azzurri.
Latin for blue,
The
right?
enemy army flees the
Yeah.
field.
Just
Pursue.
Latin
This
blue.
is a clear victory.
Azzurri.
Excellent color though.
You've earned
Just looked it up on Wikipedia. The technical color for it is apparently halfway between blue and cyan,
Alright.
and
Greetings.
the Wikipedia
We hope
page
you will consider
has a
this
dope
well.
ass train in Azure.
This
It's Azure. There we go.
agreement is a
There you
great
go.
news
I've
for
worked it
my
out.
people.
Fair enough.
That's how I say it,
These are
Azure.
much
But yeah, it has a
understandable.
fucking class looking train in this this shade of blue. Just looking at all these different
Hail, my
Azure
king.
things, Azure pigment, Azure
By
train,
your will, sire, we shall
lapis
engage.
lazuli or lazuli. I don't know how I would like to pronounce that. And then finally, to top it all off, an
Glory,
Azure tit.
honor, victory. Hail,
Like,
my king.
right, bird folk,
As you
or
wish.
ornithologists.
Here, sire.
I don't know.
Bird
They're
folk.
having our lives, right? Like, they have like tits, cocks, peckers. Like, come on,
I know,
stop
it-
it.
It's been
Stop
like
it,
an
you know what
ongoing
you-
joke for a long time.
You know what you said.
You know exactly what you're doing with those things.
Like, come on, I've got this article up now, and it starts with the Azure tit. Right, okay, is a passerine bird in the tit family.
Fleet
Like,
ready.
I'm trying to be mature here, but I'm failing miserably.
Being more mature than the people who invented bird names ever were.
Yeah. So,
Have their port blockaded, sire.
Have they brought here?
Come and face the might of the Reich. Hail, my king. Orders. As you will, my king. To battle. By God's will. Oh!
Ooh, it's a good scream.
An honorable, glorious victory! There is no glory in hiding like this, my lord.
Hang on. Do we not need to mark this momentous achievement of auto-resolving in our favor?
My lord.
Did that just, like,
Marching to
actually
war.
happen?
The day is ours, sire.
It did. We've auto-resolved a couple now. And when it's overwhelmingly in our favor, it's got to be okay.
What's overwhelming? 75% plus? I know it doesn't
Oh,
give you
yeah,
a
when it
percentage,
gets
but
to
that,
that
like,
point.
little bar.
Plus, also, if you like the quality of your army's that much better, it's just like, well, they cannot make a mistake. Even if they just literally ran everybody forward, it's just still going to win, so. Right. Danish castle looks ripe for the taking over there.
Hail, my king.
Who's going to build an army to send over there? You can get 3. Uh, 3. Alright, I'll send them over. You need to retrain.
My lord. Orders. Sire. Orders. My lord. Your will, sire. Orders.
I'll send him on next turn.
Hail, my king.
I'll send him on now. Right there. They're building up for them. These guys are going to be pretty chuffed.
It is not blasphemy. You simply do not understand.
Right. So if I can take that castle and go up that way, maybe I can go along.
Got a pretty solid block through Central Europe now, though. Have we at least finished off the Holy Roman Empire? I mean, they're still knocking about on them. There can't be much of them left.
There's not much of them, and I don't think there's much of the Danes anymore as well. So I'm just going to try and finish those two off. That can be my
The
moral victory.
participation prize.
Yeah.
Ships
In fact, I'm going
ready.
to send. Oh, nah. You're coming over here. If you're sending another bloody
Admiring
army.
The enemy.
That's where I should have had my ships just sat here. I could have sunk all those
My lord.
ships
make
before they
them
got
The
there.
excellently named Admiral Alfredo.
Yeah.
They
I
are.
wonder if I could lay siege to that. I wonder. Wunderbar. Pope Oddus the Malevolent. Oh. Oh. What? He's our buddy. Yay! The Pope likes us again. Sort of.
We'll see how long that lasts.
We are
Orders.
If the Pope
endured
likes
by
us,
the
can we
people.
go
Hail, my king.
kick ass wherever we want now?
As you command, my liege.
Yeah. Oh, could this one go wrong? Nah. Let's go
Honor
kick 'em.
and glory await England, men. Attack!
Acha. On the coast of Wales here. Finally gonna have a fight outside of Carnarvon instead of being in it all the time.
Looks nice, doesn't it? It's a nice part of the world. I think I've said before. I've never been to Wales.
I like Wales.
Done the Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Republic of Ireland, but just never tootled over to Wales.
Never had a tootle over.
I think it's because I mean maybe there are,
Because
but
of the Welsh.
no, because of flights. I don't think does Wales have an airport. I know this sounds stupid, but I think it doesn't. Not one that like serves many other flights. If that makes sense.
Possibly not, huh?
Like, so I know my Welsh mate over here, at least Northern Wales doesn't. They fly into Manchester or Leeds often. I mean, if there is an airport that serves Northern Wales, it doesn't do international flights. So. I don't know. I think like
Battle is very much in our favor. If we
I guess
remain
because of
true
where
and
like
steadfast,
where
victory
Newcastle
will be
is,
ours.
there's surprisingly like a lot of places over like the west side of the country that I haven't been to because you just kind of like I don't know if you head south, you just head directly south. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You don't if you're going on a long journey, you don't mess about like going across the country. You just go down. You just head straight down. It's normally like towards London and that neck of the woods. Because, you know, the
Only
infrastructure
half
and
the
roads are
enemy force
better
remains.
towards London. Not faffing on getting across, like, east to west. And also getting through, like, getting through the mountains and that. Like, through the Pennines and that. It's not the quickest way to get places. Like,
No.
you know, your average speed going to and from there. Like, I can't remember the name of the road, but I remember coming from Glasgow to Newcastle and
By St. George, we've captured the
going
enemy's general.
down and across
That'll teach
rather
the
than
cowardly
across
hold how
and
our
then down,
cowardly
if that makes
foe
sense. You know, you can
runs.
go like
This is a clear victory.
you can go like directly south of Glasgow, and then once you're like level with Newcastle, you cut across the country, west to east, or
Right.
you can go west to east in Scotland and go Glasgow towards like Edinburgh way, and then south from there. If you get me, it's
Yeah.
very slow going like diagonally because of just
Honor,
how
victory.
pants some of the roads are, and there is a nice like like
Yes, sire.
there's a nice
Ready to
big
war
like
and engage
motorway
the enemy.
with like several lanes where you can just like you can keep up a good speed. And I don't mean like speeding, I mean
Meeting
just
the enemy fleet.
you know
Orders.
when it's not busy you can be doing the speed limit the whole way down, and the speed limit is the national limit.
Command. Orders.
Yes.
Whereas if you try and go like when you're going from like Edinburgh to Newcastle, there's not even a dual carriageway all the way between like Scotland and England.
My lord.
Over there, it's like it's very silly and very sad.
Spotted.
Like
I'm such a dumb cop.
if you were to drive Edinburgh to London, you wouldn't be able to do it on a motorway the whole way there, which is just
Hail, my king.
kind of like to me mind-boggling.
Assembling a mighty host of your troops, sire.
It is a bit
Like
weird.
how,
Isn't it?
Hail, my king.
how is there not a dual carriageway all the way between the two? Like, you know, I get that, like, elsewhere in the country they don't like us, but like, you could at least like Scotland enough to like properly connect it with a motorway to London.
We can go no further today, sire. Hail, my king. Hail, my king.
But yeah, it's just because of the infrastructure that I haven't been to Wales. It's not through any particular dislike of Wales. It's just less feasible to get there because the infrastructure going west to east is not as good as the infrastructure going north to south.
Yeah.
And then never really had a reason to. I mean, other than like just wanting to go and visit. But as I said, other places take priority because they're easier to get to.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a shame because it would like to take it off the list. Heard good things. Heard the kind of like, you know, the kind of plus points you have for like the Northumberland coast and parts of the Highlands. Like, I know they're not exactly the same, but what's good about those places are the same kind of things that have been relayed to me about Wales, at least nature-wise. Like, I think if you like, what's it called? There's a rest stop in Scotland that's called like Be Grateful or something.
All right.
Your corpse will be thrown to the dog.
It's got a great name. It's like
Ships, away with you, infidel.
Rest and Be Thankful. That's the name of the like rest stop.
All right.
It's just called
Yes,
the Rest and Be Thankful.
In God's name, Godspeed.
Yeah, and that part of the world's like flipping class up. Yeah, like
Yes, Your Highness.
on your way
God's
up to like
servant.
Loch Lomond and that.
Yes,
It's
Your Highness.
that neck of the woods. Also, like, beautiful place to.
My liege, we must make a stand. We are besieged.
Just to be like, I mean, like if you like driving. Now I don't mean driving around like a git because obviously, whenever you get like these beautiful like country roads that are windy, you don't half get some dickheads who are like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking Colin McRae. Like, mate, other people use these roads. Like, go to a track day or whatever. Like, these roads are nice to drive, but don't drive them like a dick because the number of people who like die on country roads because some guy was driving around like a twat is just stupid. You like,
It's a car upside down round where we were the other day. Literally, you were driving around a corner, there's a car just there, upside down. Like, all right.
well, I can't remember where we were going, right? But we're in the car. It was a country road. This is when I was a kid, so dad was driving. Mum was in the front with him. Me and me little sister were in the back, and this guy like just like gunned it past us on like a blind corner, and like picking up loads of stones and all that kind of shit. Like just just driving like really reckless, and maybe like, I mean, for one, you don't want anyone overtaking you on a blind corner because that puts them in a position where they could be having an accident that you'll just be collateral in, like on the corner.
Yeah.
If they crash into oncoming traffic round this blind corner, you're probably going to be in that crash as well. Like, but not by choice.
Yeah.
And so guns it round us and overtakes us. I'm like, oh, what a dick! Da 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 da. What a, no need to drive like that. It's just like how much of a rush are you in? Like, anyway, about 500 meters down the road is this car's in a ditch by like a bridge. He'd absolutely binned it. So we pulled over, and you know, the guys like up and out the car. It's you know, he's not trapped, he's not dead, he's very dazed. Don't know if he's concussed or anything like that, you know. But my dad was not in the mood for his shit. He's like, he's just like, he's like, oh, I don't know what happened to me. Dad's like, you were driving like a C word, just doing like the blokes like out. He's like, I don't know what happened. He's like, because the way you were driving, like, my dad just wasn't having any of his nonsense. He's like, we know exactly why you lost control of the car, because you were driving like a dick, mate. Like,
Yeah.
that's what happened. My dad's like, I've got the kids in the back of the car, and you overtook us like a twat. Like the bloke, you know, the bloke's like proper out of it because he's just been in a high-speed crash. But you know, he was fine until he got picked up by, you know, medical professionals or whatever, and we went on our way. No idea what happened to him, but it's like, mate, no need. Like, you put us at risk, and like, what if he'd done that like right next to us? What if he'd taken us with him? Like, you know, you can't guarantee. Like, you know, he was okay, but it was still like, you know, it was a nasty dunch. His car would have been a write-off. You know, I remember he clearly banged his head. His head was bleeding a bit. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't gushing. It was more of like his skin had been torn, so he was bleeding. But yeah, it's just like, oh, what are you doing, man? Like, no need for any of that.
No.
Like, I'm very much with all this kind of crack on. It's like, I love motorsports, I love racing, but like, there's a time and place for them, and it's not on public roads where
No.
other people who aren't participating in a race like would be involved. Like, you really owe it to everyone else out there to like do your part and just drive sensibly. Like, go to a track day. You can,
Yeah, if you want to drive around like that.
yeah, if you want to drive around. Like, to be honest, I think, like, I don't know how much track days cost, but if you're gonna spend the money on the kind of car that you're gonna like bang around in, you know, when you see people like in these kind of like, you know, mid-level Beamers, Audis, often German cars, don't know why, but you know, gunning it around in some of these vehicles, it makes me think, well, you've got the money to buy these cars that are more expensive. You know, they weren't the cheapest option for the type of car you wanted. So you must have the disposable income to, like, infrequently pay to go to a track day, or like, you know, just pay to have your car on a racetrack.
You would think.
Though I do wonder is that, you know, if you bin your car, I mean, obviously if you're found to be at fault, usually the insurance doesn't pay out. But the thing is, I bet you a lot of insurance policies just don't cover track days, and you'll need a different insurance. But then again, that's not our problem. Like, if you want to do something like that, you have to go pay for it.
Yes.
We all have to, like, that's how we all have to live our lives. There are very few people I've seen who drive like absolute knobheads who turn out to be good at go-karting, though, funnily enough. There's something about because they don't drive smoothly, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've been to a go-kart track and you see like the stag do and the dudes who are doing like drifts into every corner, and it's like, it's not the quickest way to get around. You actually scrub off a lot of speed doing that. Like, you know, yeah, funny, cool if you're doing it, you're just having a bit of a laugh. Fair enough. But if you're actually trying to like drive quickly and win a race, it doesn't work like that.
No.
Spinning up your back tires when you pull away is not the quickest way to get off the line.
We must act and halt this turn of events.
Obviously, if you're doing like drift, that's completely different. You're rewarded for drifting around.
Lord
But
have mercy, we've
yeah,
lost half of our
most
men.
of the people I know who I would classify as divvies on the road. They've not often been very good at like go-karting or like actual racing.
Yeah, yeah.
That said, I bet you there's some people who are like proper class, like race car drivers. I bet you they drive. I think they drive like dicks on the railroad, but you know what? Maybe they don't. Maybe they just are like, nah. But I guess if you're like, top. I mean, I'm talking like top level, like Formula One drivers. I'm like, what are they like on the road? Because I bet you they aren't the best people to share a road with.
Possibly not.
I don't know though. There's the argument maybe they're just like this car is so boring. I'm just not interested. But then also there's the point that they're probably hyper competitive and they are like taking every corner, going, how quickly can I get through this corner? So they're probably like more in control of their vehicle. But would they be driving the speed limit? I don't know. I bet you they are going down the motorway a little quicker than 70. He Mr.
George
Bean bins
save
his
us.
car all the
The
time,
enemy
doesn't he?
have the
I mean, not
walls.
the Rowan Atkinson. I mean, not
Offense, or all will be lost.
the character. But he likes his cars and a bit of racing, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He's definitely
He's binned a few
Smashed up a
expensive
few, yeah.
McLaren F1s and shit like that. Him and Steve Coogan as well, isn't it? They're a couple of comedians who are very
they're
fond of
cars.
Aye. This isn't Wales, is it? No.
No, this is
Joke,
Jerusalem.
this is Jerusalem. We got
We're
it though,
probably
right?
gonna
Isn't that
lose
one of
this
the?
one.
No, but I mean we've got. Well, now we're gonna lose Jerusalem, but we owned it, right?
We did for a bit, yeah.
That's one of the objectives, though, isn't it?
Intervention by the
Yeah, it
Almighty,
was, yeah.
or a military genius can bring us victory
But I just
from
don't
this.
see how I'm going to defend this, but I'll give it a go. Yeah. It's been a stream of battles again. Oh.
Battles are good, but they're better when you win them.
They are. Not doing too badly over here. Take as many of them down as possible.
Turn that regular victory into a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
Pyrrhic? Pyrrhic?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, there's no way. No way. There's one archer
Brave
there.
last
Just
stand.
let's follow this guy. Go on, shoot someone.
I mean, what you should do is just... Is it downstairs that horses can't go?
Oh right,
Like, they don't-
yeah.
So,
Cows
like...
can't go downstairs, can they? Either?
I think so, because of the way their knees are jointed. It's very difficult for them, but... yeah, that archer could, like, lead the horses up the stairs and then go back down them, and these horses would be stuck forever. Just in that minaret. Just get them up the... Is it a minaret? Those tower things?
My lord, our enemy has command of the city.
Oh, I think they're something different.
I'm not sure. Minaret, I don't know.
It's like... I thought it was like a tower thing.
Oh,
It's,
get in there, mate.
I'm gonna look it up. A minaret is a type of tower typically built into or adjacent to mosques. Boom.
There you go.
Welcome. How do you spend your Friday night talking about Arabic architecture?
This guy's
on a
taken down
stream?
3 spearmen so far on his own. Let's see how many he gets before he gets killed. 4.
Pray something
Oh, he
changes
got
in the
4 and then he
cause.
went
Our
down.
foolish general has thrown his life away. And perhaps our chances of victory with it.
In a valiant effort.
Was.
I love that guy who was just like his general gets taken down, so he just bonks the other guy in the head with a sword. He's like, nah, not having that.
Run! Shift it! Quickly! Run! Quickly! Quickly!
Get him. Kill the archers. Get in there. Kill the archers.
Don't say that on Radio 4. Reference that nobody will ever get.
Ah.
Only intervention by the Almighty or a military
Go on then,
genius
charge
can
in.
bring us victory from this.
I wouldn't want to be this guy. He's going for it though. Look at him just proudly walking in there. Go on, get one of them. Get one of them. Go on.
Got a sachet in, doesn't he? He's got a good little mince on him there. That guy as he walks. doesn't
Oh
he?
no. No, he failed miserably.
This defeat is a bitter drop to swallow. Next time it'll be our foe that sups from this most foul cup.
It's quite dramatic.
How many? I mean, let's say how many we got right.
Oh yeah, we didn't get many. They had a much more elite
Advanced
army.
army, right?
Yeah.
Because number wise, they were pretty.
That was pretty even numbers wise, yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't have much left. But then getting back over there to try and take it's going to be a bit of a job.
Tomorrow's journey awaits, sire.
Oh, you kidding me? The Inquisitions just burned one of my leaders for heresy.
Did you expect that? Yeah.
We can't get there, sire.
Oh, that was really annoying. Like that was the guy that was going to lead them, you know, for the next battle type of thing. I mean, I know I can do it anyway, but it just keeps happening. Like setback after setback.
March to exhaustion, sire. Continuing later.
And they don't seem to be very nice about the whole shit, do they?
Sire, by your command. Joining forces, my lord. Sire, my lord. Orders. Sire.
All right.
Orders. My lord.
Not sure what the plan is really.
We
Get
can
them,
go no
and then them
further
over
today,
there, and
sire.
then take over. We'll try and take that other one. Yeah, well, we didn't get a huge amount done on this one because it was like 300 battles.
Your people's ways are blasphemous
No, they
at
like
best.
they like attacking us. But I mean, will they do it less now that the Pope's our pal? Pope Pallius III.
I highly doubt. Oh man, what we doing down here? Not much because we can't really. Down here. Not much again. See, besieged again there. My oh my oh my.
Aye, sire. Yes, sire. Preparing to board and engage the enemy. Our people rule these waters, sire. Ships ready.
Right, yeah, we're gonna have to leave it there, unfortunately.
I know.
We didn't manage to get all that much done, but I guess that means how long's the game again? How many turns?
I think it's 250 turns, but
250.
I'll look that up. It is
Oh, 225.
yeah.
Ish. 226, 225.
No, it says 225. Initial
225.
225.
Yeah, we've got 18 turns to go.
Weird. It is. Phew, it's looking unlikely, is it not?
Yeah, we're not
We've
winning.
known this.
100%.
We've known
we're
this.
not winning.
Known this for a while.
Yeah, it's just about how many. Can we eliminate a faction from the game before the game ends?
Yeah.
And it has to be I think if I had to pick, it would be the Danes out of the Danes or the Holy Roman Empire because they've just been annoying for the longest.
They've been more irritating. So I guess they deserve to die. That's the rules, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes.
Aye. Jane, this one's a toughie. This will probably be I'm guessing. Yep, it will be. It'll be sadly the last indie Bandits World Domination of 2021.
It will, yeah.
God's
'Cause
servant. Yes, your Highness.
testing and rules pending. Monday is my return to Blighty, so there'll be a little two week Christmas break from the from unsuccessfully trying to conquer medieval Europe.
I'm going to use that time to
Delve into Sun Tzu's Art of War and
figure it out. There's got to be a
bury
way.
your nose in that. I mean, I bet you there's like some pro level players who are like, this isn't an untenable situation. You just need to do this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you've
Something
conquered all
ridiculous.
the. But yeah, it's not looking great for us and our campaign. But we'll yeah, we've got what? We've probably only got 2 or 3 more streams. I think by February we're gonna have to find a new game to play.
We are. Oh, Frankfurt hate us now for some reason. RX said build the walls. Sorry, Frankfurt. God.
The other people at Frankfurt just like build the wall, build.
Yeah. I've got no room. Build a wall. Yeah, well, thanks a lot for tuning in anyway. Didn't get a whole lot on this stream, but blame the AI.
It's becoming a running theme.
I know. Still smashing it though. I think we're like, what's our... Oh, where do you find out who's the
winners.
Best faction ranking. Overall ranking. I don't know what that means. Oh,
I
okay.
think it just means
So
you
we're number 1 for military. Oh, we're miles ahead of everyone for everything, actually. Oh no.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
if you
Production, we're
combined
not.
all of them, because it is all of them versus us. See, when you take them individually, it looks like we're miles ahead.
God, what happened in the finances? Yeah, who's that? Is that Egypt? No.
Prob-
No. Ah, the Mongols
if you-
apparently have just got like tons of money.
Because no one's fighting them, I'm guessing.
Population
Yep.
overall, military, not production, territorial, we're ahead. So overall ranking,
So we're the best.
we're the
Just the
best.
problem is, we're the best, but everyone else is fighting us constantly.
Yeah,
So it's us the best versus the combination of everyone else.
yeah.
If we were fighting one-on-one, then we'd be running away with this. But the fact that we've constantly been at war, it's like all those lines versus us, not just the
Yeah,
next
that's it.
closest.
I've played many, many hundreds of hours on this game, and I have never once gone through it in a situation like this where virtually everyone's still in the game, and yeah, I think there's 2 factions that aren't, because I think you can see when they hit like the bottom and then plateau. So Scotland was like killed off really quick because we killed them off.
Yeah, we sorted out the British Isles right at the start of the game.
And then it looks like Venice have been out of the game for a little bit as well since about her turn 129. So there's 2 factions not left in this right now.
And we weren't even fighting Venice, were we?
No.
I mean, we were, because everyone was fighting us. But I mean, we weren't like actively fighting them, I
No.
think.
No,
They were probably at war with us, but we didn't get to see them at war because they got took out by, they were probably fighting each other for the opportunity to fight us.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the way everyone was dealing with this.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever run through this game where there's been nearly every single faction still present at the end of the game, and virtually all of them at war with us.
Yeah, it's
Oh well.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, other cliches.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks again for joining us. We'll be back with more streams in the future, but I guess we're having a bit of a Christmas break, so we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, in 2022.
Cool.
Weird to say. It'll take us 6 months to remember what year it is. Cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and see you soon.